My name is Marcus Rivera, and for 8 years I worked as a 911 emergency dispatcher in Portland, Oregon. During that time, I fielded over 12,000 calls. Car accidents, domestic disputes, medical emergencies, break-ins, overdoses, fires. You name it, I've heard it through my headset at 3 in the morning when the city feels like it's holding its breath. Most people think our job is just answering phones and sending help, but there's so much more to it than that. We're the voice in the dark when someone's world is falling apart. We're trained to stay calm, to ask the right questions, to keep people alive until help arrives. I've talked suicidal teenagers off bridges. I've guided new mothers through emergency deliveries in grocery store parking lots. I've stayed on the line with elderly people having heart attacks, keeping them conscious with nothing but my voice until paramedics could reach them. In 8 years, I thought I'd heard everything the human experience could throw at a person. I was wrong. There was one call that came in on a Tuesday night in November that changed not just how I see my job, but how I see reality itself. Before I tell you about that call, you need to understand how our system works. When someone dials 911 in Portland, the call gets routed to one of our dispatch centers based on location and availability. We have protocols for everything. Medical emergencies go to fire and paramedics. Crimes in progress get police. Simple break-ins or theft reports get handled differently than active violence. We're trained to categorize calls within the first 30 seconds, get the essential information, and dispatch the appropriate response. Our computer system logs everything. Every call, every response time, every unit dispatched. The recordings are stored for years. GPS coordinates, phone numbers, addresses, names of callers and responders. It's all documented because in emergency services, accountability isn't just important. It's literally a matter of life and death. When something goes wrong, investigators need to trace every decision, every second of delay, every piece of information that was or wasn't communicated. I'm telling you this because what happened that November night shouldn't have been possible within our system. But it happened anyway, and I have the recordings to prove it. The call came in at 11:47 p.m. on November 15th. I remember the exact time because I've stared at that timestamp in our system hundreds of times since then, trying to make sense of what I heard. The caller ID showed a local number, nothing unusual about that. When I answered, I followed standard protocol. What's your emergency? The voice that responded was a young woman, maybe early 20s, speaking in urgent whispers. Please, you have to help me. Someone's in my house. I'm hiding in my bedroom closet, and I can hear them downstairs. Home invasion calls are serious, but not uncommon. I immediately began gathering information while simultaneously alerting police dispatch. Okay, I'm going to help you. Can you tell me your name and address? My name is Sarah Kellerman. I live at 2847 Maple Grove Avenue. Please hurry, I think they're coming upstairs now. I typed the address into our system while keeping her on the line. Sarah, I'm sending officers to your location right now. Stay as quiet as possible. Can you tell me how many people are in your house? I think just one person. I heard the front door open about 10 minutes ago. I was watching TV in the living room and I heard footsteps that weren't mine. Heavy footsteps like boots. I ran upstairs as quietly as I could and hid in here. Standard procedure for home invasions involves keeping the caller calm while getting as much information as possible for responding officers. I needed to know about weapons, escape routes, and the exact location of both the caller and the intruder. Sarah, do you have a weapon with you? And is there another way out of your bedroom, like a window or balcony? No weapon. There's a window, but it's a 2-story drop to the backyard. I can't jump that far. Her whisper was getting more strained. Oh God, I can hear them on the stairs now. They're coming up. This is where training kicks in. Keep the caller calm. Keep them hidden. Give responding officers real-time updates on the intruder's location. Sarah, stay as quiet as you can. Officers are 3 minutes out. Can you lock your bedroom door? I already did, but the lock isn't very strong. Wait, the footsteps stopped. I think they're right outside my bedroom door now. I could hear the fear in her voice, but also something else. A strange echo, like she was speaking from inside a tunnel. Sometimes phone connections get distorted, especially during high-stress situations when people are moving around or hiding in odd spaces. I didn't think much of it at the time. Sarah, keep your phone close to your ear, but turn the volume down so they can't hear me. Officers are almost there. Whatever happens, don't hang up. I'm staying right here with you. What happened next is where everything started to feel wrong. Sarah began describing sounds that didn't match what I was hearing through the phone. She said the bedroom door was rattling, that someone was trying the handle. But through my headset, I heard only silence. No rattling, no movement, no indication that anyone was testing a door. "They're trying to get in," she whispered. "The handle is turning." But I heard nothing. In 8 years of doing this job, I'd learned to pick up background sounds through phone connections. Voices, footsteps, breaking glass, sirens, dogs barking. Your ears become trained to catch every audio detail because sometimes those details save lives. The silence on Sarah's end was complete, like she was calling from a soundproof room. "Sarah, I'm not hearing what you're hearing. Are you sure someone is at your door?" "Yes, I'm sure. Oh no, they're pushing on it now. The door is bending. Please tell me the police are almost here." I checked with dispatch. Units were still 2 minutes out. But something felt fundamentally wrong about this call. The audio inconsistencies were bothering me, but I couldn't abandon protocol. A woman was reporting an active home invasion. My job was to keep her safe and guide officers to her location. "Sarah, if they break through that door, I need you to make as much noise as possible. Scream, yell, break something. Let the neighbors hear you. The officers will hear it too when they arrive." Okay, I think I hear sirens now. Are those your police cars?" "Police?" I listened carefully through the phone connection. I heard no sirens. Our responding units were still 90 seconds away, and even if they had arrived, I would have heard it through dispatch channels first. Officers always radio in when they reach the scene of a call. "Sarah, I'm not showing officers on scene yet. They should be there very soon, but they haven't arrived. Are you sure you're hearing sirens?" Her voice changed then. The whisper became clearer, less strained, almost conversational. "Marcus, why don't you believe me?" The use of my name stopped me cold. Callers don't know our names unless we give them out, which we never do during active emergency calls. Our system shows only our badge numbers to the public. I checked my screen to make sure I hadn't accidentally identified myself. I hadn't. "Sarah, how do you know my name?" "You told me. When you first answered the phone, you said your name was Marcus Rivera and that you were going to help me. I knew with absolute certainty that I had not said my name." I pulled up the audio log of our conversation, which updates in real time. According to the system, I had answered with standard protocol. 911, what's your emergency?" Nothing more. But Sarah was insisting I had told her my name. That's when I noticed something else that should have been impossible. The address she had given me, 2847 Maple Grove Avenue, wasn't showing up in our mapping system. Not as an invalid address, but as if it didn't exist at all. The entire street seemed to be missing from our database. I immediately called my supervisor, Janet Kowalski, over to my station. Janet had been running dispatch operations for 15 years. If anyone could explain what was happening with our system, it would be her. "Janet, I need you to look at this call. The address isn't showing up in our mapping system, and the caller somehow knows my name." She pulled up a chair and examined my screen while I continued talking to Sarah. The woman on the phone was now describing how the bedroom door had been broken down, how she could see a dark figure standing in the doorway. But through my headset, I still heard nothing but that strange, hollow silence. "Marcus," Janet whispered, pointing at my computer screen, "look at the call duration." I glanced at the timer. According to our system, the call had been active for negative 14 minutes. That's not a typo. The timestamp showed I had answered this call 14 minutes before it had actually come in. Our system was showing the call as starting at 11:33 p.m., but I distinctly remembered answering it at 11:47 p.m. "That's impossible," I muttered, but Janet was already pulling up our main server logs. "Marcus, there's no record of this call in our primary system. It's not logged anywhere except on your terminal. No dispatch records, no units assigned, no address verification. According to our main database, you haven't taken a call in the last 37 minutes. Meanwhile, Sarah's voice continued in my headset. Marcus, he's getting closer to the closet. I can see his boots under the door. Please tell me help is coming. Sarah, I said, my voice steady despite the confusion building in my mind. I need you to describe exactly what you see. What does this person look like? I can't see his face. He's wearing all black like coveralls or something. But Marcus, there's something wrong with the way he moves. His legs bend in the wrong direction when he walks, like his knees are on backwards. Janet and I exchanged glances. In 15 years of emergency calls, neither of us had ever heard a description quite like that. Home invaders don't typically move in physically impossible ways. Sarah, I want you to try something for me. Very quietly, try to take a picture with your phone. Don't use the flash, just try to get an image of what you're seeing. Okay, I'm trying to switch to camera mode without making noise. Hold on. While Sarah was attempting to take a picture, Janet was running every diagnostic she could think of on our system. Phone company records, GPS tracking, call routing logs. Nothing was making sense. Marcus, Janet said quietly, I called the phone company directly. They have no record of any calls from the number showing on your screen. That number was disconnected 3 years ago. That can't be right. I'm talking to someone right now. I know, but according to every system we have access to, this conversation isn't happening. Sarah's voice came back through my headset, but now it sounded different, more distant, like she was speaking from the bottom of a well. Marcus, I took the picture, but when I look at it, there's nothing there. The bedroom door is closed. The closet I'm hiding in looks empty in the photo, like I'm not even here. But I can see myself when I look down at my hands. I never found out what happened to Sarah Kellerman that night. The call ended abruptly at 12:23 a.m., and despite every investigation we launched, no trace of her or that address was ever found. I left my job 3 weeks later because I couldn't shake the feeling that somewhere in some version of reality I don't understand, she's still waiting for help that never came. Sometimes late at night, I still hear her voice asking why I don't believe her. And honestly, I'm not sure I ever stopped taking that call.